Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dirt Rich Outdoors, where today we're out here at Wolf Creek, where we're going to be taking a new area that we had purchased about a year ago that adjoined our main property, and we hunted it for about a year. And then after that, we kind of, during that year of hunting, we really kind of started to observe the way the deer were moving through the property and everything. And we were fortunate we killed a really nice deer out here last year, but this year we're going to narrow it down. We had 3 stands on the property, and we're going to narrow that down to 1 stand. It's as you can see out here, it's a really big old agriculture field that we let grow up in sage grass. And so we're going to call this food plot Little Kansas, because it kind of reminds me of Kansas. You're looking at almost like a prairie type scenario. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll take some breaks here when we're bush hogging, and we'll show you what we got.
Welcome to Dirt Rich Outdoors, a channel dedicated to people that love to hunt, people that love to fish, and most importantly, the people willing to put in the hard work to transform their property to be dirt rich.
All right, well, we're here in the largest plot. This one is the kind of southwest facing plot for the Little Kansas stand. You can see the Little Kansas stand there. That's not the permanent Little Kansas stand, but that is a little rolling box stand that we use when we're trying to figure out a new area. And so we'll put out a video later. We're going to replace that with a real nice 6x6 box stand that's permanent, and so that'll be coming soon. So anyway, off to the next lane. All right, well, here we are in the straight west facing lane. If you notice, the deer stand's back in there in the back, but we have a old agriculture drainage ditch that runs right through the middle of this lane here. So we're gonna have to get we'll probably get the bulldozer or the excavator, and we'll come over here and clean that up. We'll just make like a low water crossing out of it in the middle of the field. But you can see back over in the back, there's actually the other lane that we were on earlier, facing back east towards the box stand. Okay guys, I'd like to address something here. If you notice that stand in the background, it's sitting about 100 yards off the edge of this food plot, and we do that on purpose. One of the biggest things, if you're going to kill big deer on a property, and it's even emphasized more if you've got a small piece of property, is when you're rifle hunting and you're coming in and out of the stand, you've got to disturb that food plot as little as possible. And so pushing it back 100 yards will make one of the biggest differences you can make on anything when it comes to food plot design, is backing that stand off the field. Number one, so when you're coming and going, every time you leave in the afternoon and there's deer in the field and you get down out of your stand, and the process of you getting out of the stand runs the deer out of the field, you'll begin to see less and less deer in the afternoon on that field, and the same thing happens in the morning. So unless you're one of those guys shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor, I don't think it's going to be any problem for the majority of most deer hunters to back off about another 100 yards off their field and take advantage of not spooking the deer when you're coming in and out of your stand. All right, we're back where we started off this morning. This is the north facing lane. As you can see, the stand back in the back there. All we got left to do is disc these fields, then we'll smooth them out, and they'll be ready to plant. All right, well, we're back out at Little Kansas today and running the old Grim Reaper, doing some tillage. And I thought I might address this while we're getting started this morning. If you're looking into getting into wildlife regeneration like we have, you know that's one of the core principles, is that you don't disturb the soil. And you know, I think it's important to understand that wildlife regeneration is a journey that you take. It's not just a practice or an action that you're doing today. It's a journey that you take, that you want to get your soil to the point where you're not using synthetics and you're not using herbicides, and your soil is in good shape. And you know, when we make these plots, and this is the first time we're making this plot here, this is an old agriculture field, and it's still got remains of the old rows where the row plantings were. And if you're trying to go in and no-till drill that thing and you're going crossways on those rows, I mean, it just beats you to death. And ultimately we're supposed to be having fun here when we're doing all this stuff. And so we take these steps when we have to. I don't use a disc unless I absolutely have to. But in this scenario, we're setting this food plot up for 10 years from now, not 5 years from now, not next year, not the next. We're looking at 10 years down the road, and you know, one of the most important things is having good drainage on your field and for it to be smooth. So the next time you come in here to no-till plant this, I mean, you're not just beating yourself up and you go home that night and you're miserable because you bounced up and down on this tractor seat for 2 or 3 hours planting on your food plots. So we're going to get them nice and smooth. We're going to use this disc as a tool in our arsenal to get this plot in a good, better position to where we can no-till drill this thing, and hopefully this field will hopefully never see the Grim Reaper again, I hope. All right, lane number 2 is taken care of. Man, that was bouncy. I probably better go see the chiropractor on Monday. All right, guys, last lane, we're done for the day. We'll come back with the dozer or maybe the track hoe, and we'll clean up that little ditch line there where you can see where the stand is in the back. And that's it. That's a wrap for today. I'd like to say, everybody, please subscribe to our channel and like the videos if you like what you're seeing. Thanks. See you on another episode of Dirt Rich Outdoors.